When we came out, even though it felt like we'd been in there for years, nothing had changed. Hassan was still telling his dad that he wouldn't go in there, and Monsieur Martinet was still poking Max in the chest and calling him a loser. Max was taking no notice until he saw me. Then he said, "I'll go in." "Good boy, Max," said Monsieur Martinet, glancing at Mr. Xanadu. You could see that when he said good boy, he really meant better than your boy. "As long as I go in with him," said Max, pointing at me. When I climbed into the vortex for the third time, I concentrated on happy thoughts of all the great stuff I'd done since deciding to be a grown-up. Walking in the Gobi Desert, driving a car, flying a plane when I should have been in Waterloo High Playground. Max leaned forward in his chair and said, "I voted for you last time." "You did?" I wondered who had voted for me. I never thought for a minute it was him. "I vote for you this time too. I vote for you because I want you to come with us. Not my father. I want you to come because you are a loser." "A what?" "A loser." "I'm not a loser. I'm gifted and talented." "When you were running down the sand dune, that made me laugh," he said. "And when you were rolling on the floor in the spacesuit, remember?" Not the details. "When you do stupid things." "They weren't that stupid. Will you do something stupid today, please?" "I'll give it my best shot." "Oh, thanks for that." Then, thunk, we were off again. Only this time when I got to the forever bit, instead of thinking about flying and walking in the desert, the word loser stuck in the front of my brain and stayed there. When we came out, Hassan was still staying. He wouldn't go in. Dr. Drax said, if the child needs more time to prepare himself mentally, perhaps this would be a good opportunity for the other dads to take their turn. Samson 1 and Monsieur Martinet can ride together, and then Mr. Xanadu can go on with Hassan. They looked a bit unsure, but what could they do? They took their turn, and this time I got to watch from the outside. To start with, the washing machine chugged round at something like the speed of a light woolens wash. Then it went up a gear to something like colour-fast cottons, and after that worryingly fast like a spin dryer, and then it suddenly started to slow down again. I said, "What happened? Has something gone wrong?" "No," said Dr. Drax, "that's the complete cycle. They've been in there just as long as you were." "But I was in loads longer than that." "They were in just the same time as you were, namely 6 minutes, including 1 minute at 15G. 1 minute? Why," said Dr. Drax, examining her fingernails, "did it feel longer than that?" "It felt like a whole chapter of my life, say about as long as I'd been at primary school." When the dads got out of the vortex, Florida was excited by the possibility that they might be sick. But they weren't. When they were done, Hassan looked at me and said, "Everyone else went on with you. I want to go on with you." "Oh, I'm a bit tired." "Well, that's so unfair. Everyone else got to go on with you. Why shouldn't I?" Dr. Drax said she really thought I had made my contribution already today. Hassan said, "Daddy, tell him he has to go on with me." "I'm afraid your daddy can't tell him that," said Dr. Drax, "because it isn't true." Eddie Xanadu sidled up to me and said, "How much to make it worth your while, Digby? A watch? A car, perhaps?" "A car? No, thanks." "I don't think you'll be able to bribe Mr. Digby, Mr. Xanadu," said Dr. Drax. Then Hassan said to me very quietly, "Come on with me, and I'll vote for you." And I realised that though Mr. Xanadu couldn't bribe me, his son really could. Knowing that the lifetime at 15G was only a minute made the 4th time easier. I was just starting to get my happy thoughts ready when Hassan said, "There was a war in my country." "Oh, yeah?" "Soldiers came to our village. They wanted to take away all the children, but my father paid the most important soldier some money so that he wouldn't take me away." You could hear the engine warming up outside. Hassan started to talk more quickly. That's why he loves money, because it can help. Well, fair enough. And the reason he always wants more money, I watched all my friends being taken away, all the children from my school. I watched our house burning down. He told me this, and then the engine started, and in my head I saw Glenarm Close, Bootle, all in flames, and my mum and dad and Florida all being taken away by soldiers. That was what I was thinking when I got to the forever bit. I was still thinking about it when the ride was over, but Hassan was grinning. he said. "That was fantastic. I could do that again. I suppose anything is fantastic compared to having your house burned down and your mates led away." He bounced out of the machine. "Don't forget to vote," I called after him. Scores: me, 6. Eddie Xanadu, 6. Monsieur Martinet, 2. Samson, 1, 2. Everyone had voted for me.